Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday night ARCA series brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet here from the world's fastest paperclip. That's right, we're here at Martinsville getting ready for some short track action here from Martinsville Speedway. Looking forward to a great race here tonight. As always with this Doghouse Racing League group, 19 drivers so far getting ready to do battle here. You see Jamie Horn currently at the top of the leaderboard. Mark Dumont currently second quickest. John Smith, Mike Leftwich, and Chris Leftwich your top five as they run. That can always change, and we'll see how this race runs out here, because a lot of things can happen here at a track like Martinsville. It is a very, very unique track. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. If my mouse wants to work with me here. There we go. Jamie Horn still currently your leader. Justin McMahon sits back at 31 points. Gained a little bit of ground on Jamie Horn last week. Ken Byers, Jonathan Smith, and Stephen Bonomo your top five. Jonathan Smith moving up 3 spots in the 4th. Steve Bonomo falling back a spot in the 5th. Then Braden Trush moving up 3 spots in the 6th. Chris Leftwich falls 2 spots in the 7th, along with Mike Leftwich. Jason Ross falls back a spot. And then Bill Gentry jumps up 2 positions into the 10th position. And I'll leave this on the screen so you can see where your favorite driver is currently in the point standings. Again, getting ready for some great action here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. There's Mike Leftwich just barely bouncing off the wall here. And this track, very unique track. I mean, all the tracks here in NASCAR are very unique. But Martinsville, kind of like 2 drag straights with a hairpin. See John Smith still out on track. One of the oldest tracks on the NASCAR circuit as well. Straights, 0 degrees, 12 degrees of banking in the corners. Very, very flat track. This track opened in 1947. As qualifying is now about to get underway. So next year will be the 80th anniversary for Martinsville Speedway. And of course, we've got the chat open if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch. We've got that live for you. Let us know who you're cheering on here tonight. Give a shout out. We'll read it right here on the air. We're waiting for our first drivers to make their way out onto the racetrack. It looks like Mark Dumont will be that driver that gets out here first. And another unique thing about this racetrack, even though it's, as I mentioned, it's very, very tight quarters here in the corners, you've got that curb to worry about as well. It's that red and white painted curb, which is just like a regular curb that you'd see at like a road course or even on the street. You want to stay away from that. I mean, it's close. You want to get as close to it as you can, because that's where all the grip is and that's where the speed is. But if you hit that curb, really easy to send yourself right up the racetrack and into another car. You see Bill Gentry coming around off of turn number 4, and he's going to move up into the 4th position in the 4 car. Jamie Horn currently at the top of the leaderboard, as Justin McMahon just went 2nd quickest. Here's a 117 of Richard Leclerc making his way out onto the racetrack. Kevin Brown says, thanks for broadcasting. He may get to run one of these days. I'm sure we'll see you back out on the racetrack at some point. Miss having you out here, and hopefully everything's good and you can get yourself back on track soon. As Leclerc goes 13th quickest. Here's Travis Neiman. Just making his way, just took the green flag on his qualifying attempt as Country Chick says, let's go, 94. Talk about Tyler Millette, currently in the 9th position. Ooh, Neiman really pushes up the racetrack there, misses the corner. Not just is that going to hurt that last lap, but it's also, unfortunately, going to hurt this lap quite a bit. He tries to get that car right down, turning against that curb off of turn number 2, down into 3 and 4. And John Smith just went second quickest as here comes Neiman across the stripe. We'll move up into the 16th position in the 16 car. A lot of drivers starting to hit their car number here tonight as we see John Smith come across the stripe on his second lap. Not enough to knock Jamie Horn off the pole. We have 3 drivers to get to qualify: Adam Gardner, Matt Smith, and Jackson Sibley. And with about a minute and 45 seconds left, they got plenty of time to get out there and get their 2 laps. It only takes about 20 seconds a lap. So you only need about a minute to get your out lap and your 2 qualifying laps. You see John Smith still run some laps. There's Jackson Sibley making his way out onto the racetrack with plenty of time to get his qualifying attempt underway. Of course, we'd like to thank all of our great partners that make this possible, including our series sponsor, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which is an authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including Cup, O'Reilly, truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at TracksideNASCAROutlet.com. As we see Sibley come across the stripe to take the white flag on his qualifying attempt, currently in the 17th position, really drives it in hard, runs it way up the racetrack. That's going to do it for his qualifying attempt. I don't think he's going to be able to salvage anything. He might be able to gain a position or 2, as we saw the same thing happen to the 69 Neiman a minute ago. As he comes off of turn number 4, is Sibley able to improve on that time? No, he goes 2090 with his best time being a 2020. So it looks like that is going to do it here for qualifying as we have driver meeting underway. Of course, again, we want to thank our great partner, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which I just mentioned. Also, don't forget about Group 6. Rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 in every turn of the Doghouse racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. Of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker, the great partner of the Doghouse Racing League as well. Butt Kicker is a well-established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products, figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. As we get ready to take a look at our starting grid here tonight. And Jamie Horn will be on the pole with John Smith rolling off from the 2nd position. Your second in points, Justin McMahon. He'll roll off 3rd with Mike Leftwich to his outside in the 4th position. Then Chris Leftwich and Bill Gentry back in row number 3. Rolling off 7th will be the 808 of Hunter Geyer with Brandon Trush in the 23 back in 8th. And then Mark Dumont and Anthony Smith will round out your 5th row. Tyler Millette in the 94, he'll roll off 11th with the 81 of Christopher Simon from the 12th position. 13th will be Stephen Bonomo with Richard Leclerc in the 14th position. Michael Dow and Travis Neiman make up row number 8 with Jackson Sibley and Gary Armio back in row 9. Rounding out the field here tonight will be Matt Smith and Adam Gardner. So 120 laps will be the distance here tonight. Stage will be on the end of lap 60. Of course, if we get 2 cautions before that stage, then the yellow will not come out. We will stay green for the stage. Couple shout outs here. We see Kathy Trust says good luck 23. K Doggy says just working. And Sunk Track says Warhorse. So we have 2 pace laps here tonight. Another thing about Martinsville Speedway, very unique, is this pit road. Very slow pit road, 35 miles an hour. You enter right here going into turn number 4. There are pit stalls on the curves here as you come off through turns 3 and 4 and through turns 1 and 2. Very tight pit road, and it is even possible to lose a lap pitting under yellow here at Martinsville Speedway. So watch for the lucky dogs here tonight if we have any. Try to take advantage of what they can, because there's a good chance that they may not even be able to get a pit stop underway. As the pace car takes that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Jamie Horn's going to lead him down to the starting line. And the green flag is going to fly, and we are racing here at Martinsville. A great jump for our leader. He has about a 3-car length lead as the battle for second is heating up between Justin McMahon and John Smith. McMahon able to clear Smith, and now Chris Leftwich trying to make something happen there with Mike Leftwich right behind. I just got kicked out of my chat, so if you try to say something, I apologize, but I'm back in there for you. So everybody kind of getting single file just to start, kind of feeling this out. K-Doggy making a good point there. They removed the track bar on these cars, so there is no track bar on these cars anymore. So cars have a little bit more roll in the rear. We'll see how that kind of sets these cars and how the handling affects these cars here tonight. As we see the 14, Mark Dumont was trying to make a move on Hunter Geyer, was not quite close enough to make that move happen just yet. We are already working lap number 5. Lap's going to click off rather quickly here. We already got a battling back here. Anthony Smith was out of line trying to make a move on Christopher Simon. Not quite close enough to make that move happen just yet. But this is the time to do it when you got the fresher tires. Try to get as much as you can. Make hay while the sun shines, they say. So last time by, John Smith ran the fastest lap of the race so far. Ran a 19:49. Of course, they don't award points for the fastest lap here, but it's nice to point out there as you see Hunter Geyer get a little loose there. Now he's going to dive down underneath Mike Leftwich, try to take over that 5th position. Going to push Leftwich way out of the way. He's going to take that spot, and here comes Mark Dumont to follow through as well. So Mike Leftwich losing 2 spots there. Falls back into the 7th position. He's got the 4 of Bill Gentry right there. Trying to see if he can find his way around as well. Up front, Jamie Horn already has almost a 1-second lead over Justin McMahon. He's got John Smith right there on the tailpipe. We see Chris Leftwich hanging right tight there with them as well. So Jamie Horn over a second lead. Then you've got these three under a blanket, and that's another second and a half, almost 2 seconds back. For this gaggle of cars, as we see Mark Dumont pulling away from Mike Leftwich. He just was a little sideways there. Hunter Geyer. Looks like Hunter Geyer got a little loose, fell back a little bit. So we see what happened here to the 08, just overdrove it. And then you barely got up into the outside wall, and that allowed a couple cars to get on by. Now Geyer trying to settle back in, try to get that rhythm back, see if he can move himself back up towards the 8 of Mike Leftwich. Again, everybody kind of single file right now as the caution is out. Ooh. Richard Leclerc and Travis Neeman both involved in this one. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night. As we try to see what happened here to the 16. Oh, drove it in hard underneath Michael Dow. Misjudged the corner just a little bit. Got up on that curb. Shot him up the track. And then 117 misjudged his exit. Caught that 16 machine and both drivers around. Doesn't look like much damage for either driver though. So they'll be able to continue on without issue. Of course, here in the Doghouse Racing League, they do not have resets, so any damage they get will either have to get fixed up or you'll have to retire from the race. And right now, it looks like both drivers, no need for fixing. They'll be able to get back on the racetrack and continue. So next week we'll be moving on to a much bigger track as we'll go from this short little half-mile hairpin paperclip of Martinsville to the 2-mile wide turns of Michigan. For the Castaplas Glow 120. It's going to be a great one. Then we move on to the Dag Nabbit 88. From Rockingham Speedway. Moving on to North Wilkesboro before the chase begins. And we'll have our 3-race chase from Charlotte, Darlington, and Phoenix. Sorry, this the lettering is very, very difficult to read on the Doghouse Racing League's website. As the lights are off on the pace car, we re-rack them, restack them, get ready to go, refire them here. Jamie Horn going to choose the inside lane here as the pace car takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Jamie Horn down to the restart zone. The green flag will fly. We are back racing. Justin McMahon trying to take advantage of the run while he could. And oh, some contact there. Mark Dumont got into the side of Chris Leftwich. Leftwich able to tuck down in front of Mike as Mike's under attack now by the 08 of Geyer. Brandon Trush right there as well. Geyer has position coming down the backstretch now. Crossover move in front. It's Mike Leftwich. Clears himself of the 08. further back, we see Anthony Smith trying to make a move here on Stephen Bonomo. And Hunter Geyer has a mirror full of Brandon Trush. As we ride along here with Hunter Geyer down into turn number 3. Geyer now able to pull away a little bit from that 23 as he's trying to work his way up to the rear bumper of the 8 of Mike Leftwich. Meanwhile, Justin McMahon has a mirror full of the 10 of John Smith as we take a ride along with McMahon. See, Smith is able to kind of roll the corner, roll the center of the corner a little bit better than McMahon. McMahon able to get back to the throttle just a little bit sooner than Smith is. And that's what's making the difference right now. Now we'll ride along here with John Smith as he tries to get right to that bumper of Justin McMahon. Well, we've got a little battle going on back here as the caution flies in the 08. Hunter Geyer is around here in turn number 4, excuse me. That's going to bring up our second wreckage rewind of the night, and that will cancel any caution at stage. So we try to see what happened here to the 08. Battling here with Mike Leftwich. Gets down to the corner, good. Don't know if maybe he had a little bit of brake lock up here. Really easy to, nope, just ran into the back of Mike Leftwich. Had to check up, and the 23 of Trush just got in the back of the 08, turned him right around up and over that curb. Tyler Millette got a little piece of it. Looks like, it actually looks like Trush may have got turned around as well. He got a little help getting turned back around the right way. Ooh, heavy damage to Millette, though. Tyler Millette down on pit road. We saw the front end missing on that. Looks like he's getting that damage fixed up. The 81 of Christopher Simonin, Michael Dow, Travis Neeman. As Jamie Horn coming to take the one to go here. Lights on the pace car should be shutting off. Jamie Horn again will choose the inside lane, putting Justin McMahon up on the outside. As Jamie Horn leads him back down to the restart zone. And the green flag will fly again. This time, Justin McMahon does a good job staying right there with Jamie Horn. But here comes to the inside the 10 of John Smith. Trying to take that second position away as they drag race down into turn at number 3. Chris Leftwich right there. Trush into the back of Chris Leftwich. Able to stay straight. But this heavy battling right here behind is allowing Jamie Horn to already open up a lead. And caution is out yet again. Whoops, did not want to do that. I believe it was Hunter Geyer that got turned around again. See Geyer battling back here. Michael Dow, almost some three-wide racing. Actually, there was some three-wide racing for a second, and then and Geyer just ran into the back. Not sure who that was he ran in the back of there. Let's take another look at it from a different angle here. Oh, that was the 82 of Matt Smith. Just misjudges Smith's entry there. Catches Dow. Catches that outside wall pretty hard. He's going to come down back pit road again. Doesn't look like too much damage. You see the front end pushed in a little bit, but Martinsville not known for aerodynamics, so you can get away with a little bit of front end damage here and not have too many issues. So lights will be off next time by. We'll re-rack them, restack them, get ready to go back at Green Flag Racing here from Martinsville. Again, we want to thank our great partners that make this possible, including our series sponsor, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which is your authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including Cup, O'Reilly's truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by their store, check them out on Facebook, or visit them online at www.tracksidenascaroutlet.com. Of course, don't forget about Intensity Racing. If you're a small-time race team looking for some swag, get a quote today over at IntensityRacing.com. Or if you're just looking to pick up some of Hatley Atman Reese's racing gear as the racing season has started, you pick it all up over at IntensityRacing.com. As the pace car dives down on the pit road, Jamie Horn from the high side this time. Going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag will fly yet again. Another great jump for Jamie Horn. Just McMahon this time trying to use that high side. His advantage runs way up the racetrack. McMahon's going to lose a couple of positions here. As Chris Leftwich is looking down to the inside. Braden Trush just barely get up on that curve and goes, oh, we got one around in the back. Two around in the back. Both Mark Dumont and Richard Leclerc involved in that one. Kind of saw this one happening in the background as it happened. They got a little three-wide racing here. And Leclerc just got into the 14. And then comes up into Steve Bonomo. Bonomo comes right up into the 117 of Leclerc. Turns him right around. And it looks like Leclerc got the worst of that damage, as he's going to dive down onto pit road, get some of that fixed, along with Mark Dumont as well. Chris Leftwich coming down pit road. First one of our leaders coming down to get tires and fuel. Again, there is no stage break. So he's going to try to get some tires here and see if he can get himself in position to grab a few spots here on this start. So Jamie Horn, who's led every lap of the race since the drop of the green, getting ready to come back to a 1 to go. And Jamie Horn chooses the inside on this restart, putting John Smith on the outside. Justin McMahon, Brandon Trush back in row number 2. Bill Gentry and Anthony Smith back in row 3. Gary Amio, Jackson Sibley, row 4. Stephen Bonomo, Matt Smith back in row 5. How about Jackson Sibley? Slowly making his way through the field along with Gary Amio. Amio up 11 spots up into the 7th spot. Jackson Sibley up 9 spots. As we see John Smith trying to time this restart, he's got Jamie Horn hitting the box, hitting the accelerator, and going back. Green flag racing here. Smith able to use that high lane to try to stay in front of Justin McMahon. McMahon, though, trying to fight back on that inside lane, the preferred line, and Smith going to clear McMahon and take over that 2nd position. Real slow gaggle of cars here in the back. Ooh, Stephen Bonomo locked up the rears there. Almost looped it around. These drivers use a ton of brakes getting into the corner. As Matt Smith battling with Michael down. Now Mike Leftwich to the inside. Leftwich thought better of it as the A2 almost gets hit by Leftwich that time as they're side by side off of turn number 4. And the 82 of Matt Smith gets sent into the corner. He's going to fall back, lose a couple more spots as Mark Dumont able to get on by. We see Tyler Millette, who was badly damaged early on. Looks like that 94 is starting to get some of that speed back. Get some of that damage fixed. As the 08 trying to make a move a little bit further up. He is actually currently being scored in the 19th position. 1 lap down. As Jamie Horn has company, this is the closest anybody's been to him all race long. That's John Smith right there on the back bumper, trying to chase down that 98 machine. As we are quickly approaching the halfway mark, where we'll pay off stage points. That's the word I'm looking for. We will not have a stage break. There's a little battle brewing here between Gary Amio and Bill Gentry. Now Gentry starting to pull away just a little bit. Speaking of pulling away, Jamie Horn now pulling away from John Smith Smith has now fallen back to 0.8 of a second behind your leader, Jamie Horn, as we are coming to 5 laps to go in the stage. And as I say that, the caution flies. And the driver we were just talking about, Gary Amio, he's turned around. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind here tonight, seeing what happened to the 7 of Armio. Oh, just overcooks it. Hits the brakes and keep from running into the back of Bill Gentry. Oh, and then Chris Leftwich turns him around right there at the start-finish line. Not really sure what happened there, but brings out the caution, and not quite the end of the stage. The stage is at the end of lap 60. So we got a few laps away from that. So I imagine everybody in the top 10 will be staying out. Wouldn't be surprised if like Christopher Simon, Mark Dumont, Tyler Millette, they come down pit road here. They do not. If Chris Leftwich is coming off pit road, Bill Gentry making his way off pit road, Richard Leclerc coming off pit road, Matt Smith on pit road, along with Gary Amio. Again, join us next week right here on Intensity Broadcasting as the Doghouse Racing League takes on Michigan in the ARCA Series. Of course, if you're looking for Michigan action, check out the SCSRA Cup Series right here tomorrow night on Intensity Broadcasting. They'll be taking on Michigan for their second race of the season. Before we do that, we've got to settle a winner here tonight at Martinsville as the lights are off on the pace car, and Jamie Horn going to lead him back down towards the restart zone. Got John Smith to the outside, Just McMahon and Brandon Trush in row number 2, Anthony Smith and Jackson Sibley in row 3 as the green flag flies once again. Another great jump for the 98 of Jamie Horn as Just McMahon tries to make something happen here, trying to catch up. He's got a mirror full of John Smith. That's going to do your stage right there. Jamie Horn, Just McMahon, John Smith, Brandon Trush, Anthony Smith, Jackson Sibley, Michael Dow, Stephen Bonomo, Mike Leftwich, and Travis Neiman. We got one around here on the big wreck here on the front stretch. See the back stretch. That's going to bring out the caution as our leaders get to the incident. Now I will expect the entire field to make their way down pit road as they are right now, jumping down onto pit road. Let's see what happened, though, to bring out this incident or bring out this caution. Ooh, the 14 turns around. Oh, my goodness. The 14 lost it all by himself there up on the high side. Look at this wild ride that Matt Smith takes in the 82. Just got nowhere to go as the 14 comes down across the track, and Garamillo pushes him up. I'm sorry, almost over the wall. I'm not even showing you what happened there. Let's bring that back for you so you can see exactly what happened here. As see that blue car at the bottom of the screen. It's a little loose down into the corner. He gets turned around here, comes back across the track. And Matt Smith getting the worst of it there, as he got carried up and almost over the wall by the 7 of Gary Armillo. And going back to see exactly what happened here to Dumont. He was on the outside. I don't think he got any contact here from Chris Leftwich. I think he just kind of cooked it into the corner. Yeah, he cooked it into the corner by himself, got up into those marbles, and then all heck broke loose behind and below him. So a little shakeup now. We've got Chris Leftwich and Tyler Millette. They're going to be restarting on the front row. Leftwich was on pit road on lap 56. Tyler Millette on lap 27. Then Jamie Horn, he just pit. Well, Richard Leclerc going to be out there on a little bit older tires as well. On lap 56, he came down pit road. As Leftwich going to lead him down to the restart zone. And the green flag will fly once again. This is the first time Jamie Horn's been back in traffic. Of course, aerodynamics, not really a big thing here as Leclerc blocks all the way down. It looks like Tyler Millette got a little piece of it. He's turned around. Caution is back out. And that looked like a little bit of cause of circumstance there. We see if we can find Richard Leclerc here. Oh, this is the wrong incident here. Let's bring up the right incident here. So Richard Leclerc saw Jamie Horn making this move, so he's going to dive down to the bottom here to kind of block the progress of Jamie Horn. I don't know if Jamie Horn just sent him or what happened there, but Tyler Millette, unfortunately, in a situation where that front nose pops off yet again. See if we can get a little different angle of this one. Yeah, it kind of looks like Jamie Horn didn't like that that block too much. Kind of just got into the a little too hard into the 117, shoved him up the track. So we're getting ready to re-rack them, restack them, get ready to refire them here. Chris Leftwich going to choose the inside lane, putting Jamie Horn up on the high side. John Smith and Justin McMahon going to be back in row number 2. Brandon Trush, Anthony Smith in row 3. Jackson Sibley, Richard Leclerc back in row 4. And then Michael Dow and Travis Nealman, your top 10. As Chris Leftwich now going to lead him back down to the starting zone, where the green flag will fly yet again. We are back racing, and a huge jump for Jamie Horn on that high side. As Leftwich gets positioned back underneath. They are side by side for the lead off of turn number 4. Great battle up here as Leftwich tries to wrap that bottom. You see Jamie Horn catch the wall just a little bit. Leftwich has to go down the bottom to block the inside move that Jamie Horn tried to make. No contact there between Leftwich and Horn. That allows the cars behind to gain a little bit there as Horn had to check up. Jess McMahon trying to move around the 10 of John Smith right behind this battle. As Jess McMahon tries to solidly move himself up into the 3rd position. Side by side for the final podium position. John Smith on the outside, Jess McMahon to the inside. McMahon gets the position. He's going to tuck in line behind the 10 of John Smith. As Chris Leftwich running up front, a little bit older tires. Jamie Horn, who's been the class of the field all night long, kind of stuck now behind that 83. Chris Leftwich doing everything he can to be a little defensive here. Trying to block that inside lane, enter a little shallow here to keep Jamie Horn behind. Ooh, a little contact there as Horn lets him know he's right there on the back bumper. Jamie Horn able to get to the gas so much sooner than Chris Leftwich. Leftwich doing a great job holding on to that top spot. We are quickly coming to 40 laps to go. I think Jamie Horn's only opportunity he's going to have here is to move that 83 up and out of the way, which he is actively looks like he's trying to do. As the yellow flies yet again. And it looks like it's for Christopher Simon and Stephen Bonomo getting wrapped up in one here. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind here tonight. Let's see what happened to Bonomo and Simon. Bonomo had to slam on the brakes to avoid running into the back of Mike Leftwich, and Christopher Simon just nowhere to go. No harm, no foul for either driver. Looks like they're going to be able to continue on without issue. See all drivers involved there coming down pit road. And now Chris Leftwich pits from the lead. Comes down and gets 4 fresh tires and fuel. Maybe he's going to have to start in the back of the field here. These fresh tires are going to mean a lot. We'll have to see how far he's able to drive through the field here. As Jamie Horn says, he's going to take the inside here on this restart. Let's Gonna put John Smith up on the high side. Just McMahon, Brandon Trush back in row number 2. Jackson Sibley cracking the top 5 now in 5th, with Anthony Smith back in the 6th position. Michael Dow, Travis Neiman back in row 4, and then Tyler Millette and Mike Leftwich in row number 5. So Millette having some issues here tonight, involved in a couple incidents, but now finds himself up into the top 10. As Jamie Horn leads him back down to the restart zone, where the green flag will fly, and we will go back racing here at Martinsville. Another great jump for Jamie Horn as John Smith being challenged by Justin McMahon on the inside. Ooh, some contact. McMahon hip checks Lieutenant Smith up and out of the way. Now we got 3 wide racing as McMahon stuck in the middle. Is Trush going to get a 2-for-1 special here? Move Brandon Trush up into the 2nd position. Just McMahon and John Smith now settling it out for this final podium spot. But don't look now, Jackson Sibley right here in the mix. Looking to the high side of John Smith for just a second. Right behind we see the 16 of Neiman. We are quickly coming to 30 laps to go, and the caution flies for the 9th time here tonight. Looks like the 97 of Anthony Smith has spun around. That's going to bring up our 9th caution for incident here tonight. You see the 97 running all by himself here down into the corner, and you can already see he's in trouble and out of shape. Fortunately, it looks like it's just going to be the single car incident. Oh, Chris Leftwich got a little bit. Michael Dow did as well, but it doesn't look like enough to do any real damage to either car. So even though Chris Leftwich was involved, he just took those tires. I don't think it's going to hurt him too much. He should be good to go. So you see him come by. Doesn't look like any damage to the front end of that car. Bill Gentry in the 4 going to get your lucky dog here. Put himself back on the lead lap. So Jamie Horn going to lead him back down here, and he is going to choose the inside lane here, putting Brandon Trush on the high side for the start. Justin McMahon and John Smith, who've gotten into each other quite a bit here tonight, going to be back in row number 2. Jackson Sibley, Travis Neiman back in row 3. Mike and Chris Leftwich, row 4. Michael Dow, Tyler Millette. Round out your top 10 on this restart. As Jamie Horn leads them back down to the restart zone. Where the green flag flies yet again. A great jump for Justin McMahon this time. He's able to slide up into that 2nd position around Brandon Trush. And how about this? Jackson Sibley challenging John Smith for the 4th spot. quite close enough to make that happen. And ooh, some contact right behind as we see the 16. Travis get pushed way up the racetrack with that contact. Chris Leftwich now up into the 6th position. He is coming in a hurry. Jamie Horn up front, extending his lead, but not as much as we've seen earlier on, as we have 25 laps to go here from Martinsville. And right now, Chris Leftwich on those fresh tires is the fastest car on the racetrack. Oh, Jackson Sibley hard into the outside wall. Oh, still gets hit again by the 117. Jackson Sibley looks like he just kind of caught the wall off the corner and then lost it across the track. As we take a look here at the, oh yeah, the 18's already in trouble. Really far up off the wall or off the racing line. Turns around, gets hit by Chris Leftwich. And then, yeah, just Richard Leclerc comes in, just didn't see him. I honestly think he just could not see him through the cars in front. And quite a few drivers with black flags. Travis Neiman has a black flag. Chris Leftwich, Mike Leftwich, and Richard Leclerc all with black flags. Not sure what they got those black flags for. Let's go back to this and we'll see if we can see what happened to Leftwich here. I don't think he came down pit road. And not sure what those blocks are for. I believe they might just be UL penalties, as we see Mike Leftwich, Chris Leftwich, and Richard Leclerc falling to the end of the line. Travis Neiman, though, he still has his. But it's not telling me what it's for. As Jamie Horn makes his way here to the starting zone. Green flags back in the air. And caution is out already. Looks like it's for the 60 of Michael Dow. Well, the mystery has just been solved. The black flags that these drivers have right now are due to incident points. So The Doghouse Racing League does have a cap on incident points. They will have to come down and serve a penalty if they have too many incident points. And right now, there are a few out there with black flags for just that. Of course, these penalties have to be taken under green. So I'm showing 6 drivers currently with the black flag. So as they come back to the start-finish line here, the lights on the pace car are now off. Jamie Horn chooses the inside lane, putting Brandon Trush to the high side. Justin McMahon and John Smith back in row number 2. Travis Neiman and Anthony Smith, both drivers currently showing a black flag. They're both going to have to make their way on the pit road under green. Tyler Millette and Christopher Simon back in row, or both 8th and 9th, with Mike Lithwich back in 10th. So we'll have to see what drivers are able to sneak their way down on the pit road here. As the green flag flies yet again. Another great jump for Jamie Horn. Brandon Trush and Justin McMahon side by side. You see all these drivers in the back here trying to make their way on the pit road. John Smith moving Trush up and out of the way. And I believe all these drivers, I believe it's just a pass-through for these drivers. I don't think they have to make their way and stop in their pit stall. I think it's just a drive-through penalty for them all. You see this parade of cars come off of pit road right as the leaders are coming by. And Travis Neiman still has the black flag. I don't know if he sped on pit road. Mike Lethwich down pit road this time. Richard Leclerc still sitting on pit road. And Chris Leftwich looks like he is out of the race. After being so quick early in the race. 10 laps to go. Unfortunately, it looks like that is going to do it for his day. Travis Neiman as well. Still showing a black flag here. And he has been disqualified from the race as well. So a couple drivers having some issues with penalties. As the laps are winding down, Jamie Horn way out in front, over a half second over Justin McMahon, who sits back in second. John Smith in third. 7 laps to go. It's 2, 3, 4 run in line. We are looking to get those final 2 steps of the podium. One of these drivers is going to be disappointed. So we have just 5 laps to go here from Martinsville Speedway. These three drivers, McMahon, John Smith, Brandon Trush, oh so equal right now. Neither driver really able to make an advantage on the other two. As Jamie Horn comes down the backstretch into turn number 3, when he comes across the line this time, we'll have just 2 laps to go. And of course, if he can make it around one more lap and the white flag flies, the yellow flag will be put away. Through turns 3 and 4, Jamie Horn comes and takes the white flag. One more lap to go here at Martinsville. 1/2 mile for nice and smooth corners as he comes down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Jamie Horn is going to win it here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. Justin McMahon going to bring home in second. John Smith third. Brandon Trush and Christopher Simon round out your top 5. As Jamie Horn's going to bring it right down to the start-finish line here, where he's going to celebrate this victory and burn it down as soon as the rest of the field comes on by. So we'll take a look at our results here tonight. And again, Jamie Horn gets the win here tonight. Justin McMahon comes home in second. John Smith third. Brandon Trush and Christopher Simon, your top 5. Stephen Bonomo back in 6th. Bill Gentry back in the 7th spot. Tyler Millette, Michael Dow, and Anthony Smith, your top 10. Mike Leftwich comes home in 11th. Travis Neiman in the 12th spot. Chris Leftwich in 13th. Jackson Sibley, Richard Leclerc, your top 15. Matt Smith, Mark Dumont back in 17th. Gary Armillo from the 18th position. 19th is Hunter Geyer. And rounding out the field here tonight is the 20 of Adam Gardner. As we're waiting for our top 3 to make their way to the waiting room. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, we want to thank our great partners, including Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which is your authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including truck, O'Reilly, Cup, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow on Facebook, or check out their website at www.tracksidenascaroutlet.com. Group 6, rev up your brain's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse Racing League season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. Of course, if you're a small-time race team looking for some swag, check out intensityracing.com and get a quote today. Can't forget about ButtKicker. ButtKicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of ButtKicker products yet lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Check out the full line of ButtKicker products and figure out what's right for you by visiting thebuttkicker.com. So this time, we're going to bring drivers in the correct order. Starting with our 3rd place finisher, John Smith. John, you got Josh up in the booth?
I mean, Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, I'm calling drivers in the correct order tonight, so this is something new for me. But after last week, I know I kind of called you guys in out of order and mistook you for mistaken identity. But man, great battle for you, kind of in that top 5 all night long, battling with Brandon Trush, Justin McMahon. Had some contact there with McMahon, kind of booted you out of the way. Just hard Martinsville Racing. Talk us through the race and what your strategy was to keep yourself clean all night.
The strategy was just kind of get out front and stay out front and hopefully avoid the wrecks that were just going to happen. I mean, it's Martinsville, it's how it is. But yeah, just trying to stay out front and ahead of everybody. And I was pretty fast in practice and qualifying, but there's a difference between being fast by yourself and being fast around people. And that was when I was trying to figure out the fly tonight, is how to be fast around others. But yeah, I think Justin got up into me. I think we were going 3 wide with Brandon Trush there, just a little door, nothing major. It was fun racing the whole time.
So a little strategy out the window here tonight. Normally we have the stage at halfway. Unfortunately, with 2 or more cautions coming out before then, we don't have the stage break per se. Does that throw a monkey wrench in the way you run your strategy for this race? Because obviously you want to come down and get tires and have the advantage of that, but at the same time you want to stay out and get the stage points. So what was going through your mind coming to the stage there?
I didn't even realize the stage had hit. I don't even know where I finished at. I was probably 4th, 3rd, or somewhere around there. But yeah, I forgot all about that, and I wasn't even going to pit until after the stage or when the stage hit. And I saw Justin and Jamie come down, and usually when those two do something, I tend to follow that because it usually leads to good things. So I followed them down and kind of sticking, just piggyback on other people's strategy tonight.
Well, next week we go from the this tight little paperclip to the wide high banks of Michigan. How do you like your chances next week at the 2-mile track?
Michigan's hit or miss for me. It's kind of like a auto club, I guess, used to be for me. I just can't figure it out how to be fast. And some nights I'm fast, some nights I'm not. I think I had a pretty good run there last season, maybe in these cars with Chris Simon, me and him there at the very end. But yeah, maybe it's going to be good. Maybe it's going to be bad. We'll just have to see when we get there.
Well, again, awesome job here on the podium again here tonight. Before we let you go, anyone want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout Knapp Racing, Engine 4 Coffee, you for doing the broadcast. Appreciate it a lot. I know it's hard work. The admins for running the league, I know that's a lot of hard work too. And got to give a shout out to Justin McMahon there, finishing P2, for giving me some space with a caution. He could have easily just blocked me out and we could have been all caught up in it, but he gave me some space and kept us running. It was a lot of fun racing with those guys tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here tonight. Good luck next week in Michigan, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your 3rd place finisher, John Smith. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher. Let me try to get this screen back where I want it. Let's bring in your... That's not what I clicked. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher, Justin McMahon. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, great run for you here tonight. No, another runner-up finish for you here, but man, there was just nothing out there for Jamie here tonight. A lot of attrition. Not really able to get a good rhythm going. Talk us through your racing, your strategy there to keep yourself up front.
Yeah, really just trying to get a good jump on the restart, and the inside line is just really the dominant line here. You can't really do much on the outside unless you're Jonathan Smith, who is somehow able to rip that outside line every now and again and keep you on your toes. But yeah, more or less just trying to keep the right front on the car, not overheat it, and just kind of run nice and steady and smooth. But I didn't really have a whole lot for Jamie once we got into a run. Really the goal is, with those, we knew we were probably going to have a ton of caution. So really it was more or less trying to get a good jump and try to see if I could do something on a restart. And I felt like I almost got him a couple times. I was right there on his bumper, but I couldn't do anything about it. He was just so dominant here.
I'm going to ask you the same question I just asked John Smith, because, with the way that the cautions fell and the way that the league runs the stage break, having the 2 cautions or 2 more cautions before the stage there, did that kind of change your strategy, how you ran that race? Because I'm sure part of you wants to come down and get fresh tires to be a little bit quicker and have a little bit more grip, but at the same time, you don't want to give up that track position. Was that kind of like an internal struggle there coming down towards the stage?
I'll be honest with you. Tonight it was kind of one of those, I was like, there's no way we're going to have less than 2 cautions before lap 60. So my game plan from the start was to run it as long as we can. Tire wear wasn't a huge factor, but like you said, giving up that track position was not something I wanted to do. And having, as many cautions as we did, and I was assuming, I was kind of going off that game plan. I wasn't going off of the game plan of, if we don't have any cautions, what am I going to do? I was kind of assuming that, and I knew that, track position was going to be way better than fresh tires. So that was kind of the game plan moving forward for me. And I knew that if we had 2 or more cautions before the stage, and I wasn't going to come in, I was going to stay out and run it as long as we could to get to the stage. And it actually worked out, because at first I think they were thinking about calling the stage after that last caution. I think it was on lap 55, but they ended up kind of taking it back, because it was supposed to be, I think we were going to be going green with like 1 lap to the stage. So it actually worked out in my favor, because I was able to gain a position on Jonathan and get second out of it. So it worked out. But it was more or less run it as long as you can, and then worry about tires later if you have to.
Well, next week we move on to the high banks of Michigan. How do you like your chances at the big 2-mile track next week?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. It's kind of that's another good one. Be hit or miss. It could go caution free, or we could have a bunch of cautions, even though the track's really wide, but guys think they, get clear and give some room, and next thing you know, they kind of cross across somebody's nose and get turned. So as long as we stay clean and out of harm's way, I think we should have a good chance to finish in the top 10. I hope so. We'll see.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the runner-up here tonight. Good luck next week at Michigan. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank a shot you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast. You guys do a great job. Group 6 for the sponsor on the car. All of our sponsors in the league, and Daniel and all the admins that put the league on, and a couple buddies of mine that are watching the race tonight. I think Nate and my buddy Nate and Davey are watching the race. So shout out to them for tuning in and watching. And yeah, congrats to Jamie on the win.
And again, congrats to you on the runner-up. Good luck next week, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
As your second place finisher, Justin McMahon. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, Jamie Horn. Jamie, you got Josh up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you had that thing just on rails all night long, controlling the restarts. Track position just so key here at Martinsville, especially with those the short runs. A couple long runs, 20, 25 lap runs in there as well. So you're able to stretch yourself a little bit of a lead. But, man, being able to nail those restarts kept you up front all night. Talk us through the strategy in the race here tonight.
Yeah, Martinsville is one of my favorite tracks. So I knew if I could qualify up front, that would be kind of key, and just kind of hold it the whole night. And the tire fall off, at least for me, and the practices we were doing, it just wasn't really there that much. So I wasn't sure if I lost the lead, if I'd be able to get it back. And me and Chris had a pretty good battle going on there for a little while, and I think I probably could have got him in the long run, but short run, it took my car, it seemed like about 10 laps to start firing back off with the older tires and start being able to gain any ground on, or gaining my lead back. But yeah, it was a fun track, fun race. Wish we could have stayed green a little bit longer, but that's Martinsville.
And speaking of which, you got a little trap back in traffic there at one point. Did that kind of throw you for a loop, having to be in the? I know it's not really dirty air because traffic doesn't, or aerodynamics aren't as important here as most places, but just being behind other cars, that kind of throw your rhythm off there for a little bit.
Not too bad. I knew at some point that whenever I went in and pit, there's always some folks that's going to have already pitted and they're going to stay out with a little bit older tires. So I kind of already had it in my head at some point I was going to have to get in traffic, and it was going to be about navigating your way through. And the 117 threw pretty bad block on me going into 3 that one time, and I gave him a shot. I couldn't get it slowed down, and I hate that it ended up pushing my teammate Tyler and spinning him around. But just when you throw a block and almost send me into the pits, there's not much I can do at that point. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was just trying to slowly, methodically work my way through them. But we ended up getting back up to second, I think, with the cautions, and then running side by side with Chris for a good couple of laps. That was fun.
Well, next week we go to Michigan, big wide open track. How you like your chances there at the 2-mile track?
I like it. It's a pretty fun track. I think you'll see pit strategy be what would be the winning move, but at least the last time I went there, I believe that's how it went down. So we'll see. Do some practice. I think we'll have a fast car there, and yeah, I look forward to it. It'll be fun.
Of course, before I let you go here tonight, Jamie, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Oh yeah, shout out to you for the broadcast. Enjoy going back and watching that every week. Shout out to the lead sponsors, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, Butt Kicker, Knapp Racing, SSR Designs, Group 6, everybody that helps keep the league going. Shout out to Justin and Jonathan on second and third. It was fun racing with them, and really shout out to everybody in the league. Martinsville's a tough track, and I expected we'd have some caution. So shout out for everybody that come out, and hope everybody has as much fun as we all did up there. And shout out my teammates and my mom at home watching.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win here tonight. Good luck next week in Michigan. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You as well. That was your winner here tonight, Jamie Horn, getting it done, controlling this race from start to finish, and getting the win here tonight at Martinsville. And that's going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night for the CSRA Cup Series as they take on Michigan International Raceway. And then next week right here on Tuesday night for the Trackside NASCAR Outlet Series. And that's going to do it for us again here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or Kick. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.